Hello, everybody. I've gotten a background of Hinamizawa because today is the first episode of the visual novel book club, and we're talking about Higurashi, chapter 1. Did everybody do your homework? I don't know if anybody's here yet. Oh, hi Gajitsu-sama. I'm doing good. Wow, now with the Hinamizawa background, you can barely see chat. I can make chat huge though. Oh. Hi Iris. Hi Kit. I'm doing good. Maybe I should have made a chat box on the side of the Hinamizawa background instead of just taking Hinamizawa. Did everybody do your homework? Yeah, I finished it today. That's good. I actually, I read it really late. I read it just like yesterday. I was like, I should finally get around to reading that, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I mean, well, I'm still at work here. I'm sorry. I hope your work is going good. I hope your work day is going good. I took notes. Wait. I need to go get my notebook that I took notes on when I was reading of things to talk about during the book club. Hang on. I'm gonna go get my notebook. Even though I've seen the anime, this is a really good way to experience it. That's the thing. When I was reading it, I realized that even though I watched the anime like 4 years ago, somehow I remembered almost everything, and I felt like I would have had a better experience if I didn't remember. I was like, oh, now this is gonna happen. Now that's gonna happen. I don't know if it's because the first route in the anime was my favorite, and I probably rewatched that more times than the other routes, so I don't know if I'll be able to have a better experience with future routes not remembering anything. I still enjoyed it a lot though. I finished some time ago. I was planning to do a 1 hour day, but I read chapter 6 onward all in one go a few days ago. You only had to read chapter 1. You went really far. Or did you? It was kind of weird because it's called chapter 1, but then there's chapters within the chapter. I started it yesterday since I was busier than I thought on my week off, but I've been enjoying it so far. Oh, you might get spoilers then. So it's kind of confusing because chapter 1 was divided into its own chapters, but I mean chapter 1, Onikakushi, is all we had to read. But that's split. It was confusing because there was chapters within the chapters. I kept confusing it with all the other routes. It's been a while since I've seen it. I might get the other routes confused. Yeah, the chapters in chapter 1. Oh, okay. If somebody here didn't, if you didn't finish chapter 1, you might get spoiled. So, because I'm gonna discuss it now. So the thing is with my notes is I started off very diligently taking notes, and then as the plot picked up, I got too distracted by the plot and forgot to keep taking notes. I don't mind spoilers since I'm going to finish it later today, so no worries. Okay. So the first note I took was I wrote down, so at the beginning of the game it started with a quote, and it said the quote was by Frederica Bernkastel, and so I wrote down that name in order to look up who that was because the quote seemed very interesting, and I discovered something quite shocking, and that's Frederica Bernkastel is not a real person. She's a character from Umineko. So I was like, oh, already in the beginning this quote that they give us, that's not a spoiler, right? I don't feel like that's a spoiler if it's like at the very beginning they have this name attributed to this quote that you could look up. But I was quite shocked when I discovered that. The witch? Oh, if the character is a witch from Umineko, please don't spoil Umineko. I haven't read it. Please no spoilers past chapter 1 of Higurashi. Please no spoilers past Onikakushi. Oh, I didn't know. That's actually pretty interesting. I thought it was really interesting too. So I wonder if that's going to come into play later on in the further chapters, if it's going to become more connected with Umineko, but I haven't read Umineko. Bad says bad. It's okay. No, that's okay. Just, I mean, we might read Umineko in the future, and in the future VN book, for future VN book club meetings. They're connected, aren't they? Higurashi and Umineko. Yeah, they're made by the same people. And I guess they must be connected. If this character, Frederica Berncastle, that they started with the quote of, I don't remember what the quote was. But I remember thinking, I should look up Frederica Berncastle and find out who she was. Oh, she is not real. The problem with me having watched the anime is there's stuff that here in the first chapter that I made connections with that are sort of like foreshadowing or related to future chapters that I can't really talk about in this meeting because of anybody here who hasn't seen the anime or watched or read the future chapters yet. So I do have some notes here of stuff that I probably won't discuss until future meetings. But there was lots of good foreshadowing in this chapter, I thought. Maybe anybody who's read further on in the series or watched the anime agrees. But especially the very beginning, I was like, wow. But somebody who hasn't read the rest of it or watched the anime wouldn't catch that. I went to visit my parents, totally forgot about when the chapter 1 discussion was going to be, so I'm afraid I have to skip that one. That's okay, Poketo Music. Actually, that's something I wanted to ask about, is did I give everybody enough time, and in the future, should I be giving more time for meetings, or is 2 weeks good enough, do you guys think? That's something I was actually wondering. I wanted to check and see what everybody thought about how much time I gave. Umineko is in past of Higurashi, I think. Just look at the Steam page. Oh, it takes place beforehand? I've watched it all a while ago. Me too. I think that this first chapter, I remembered like everything. I think the other chapters I won't remember as much. The beginning part was very zany. The anime didn't have nearly as much slice of life moments. It was like, some of the moments were really wacky and zany. What did I write? I wrote, see, there were zany things happening, and in my notebook I wrote, Keiichi is freaking weird, WTF. And then right after that I wrote, Mion is freaking weird, WTF. That's because there was a bunch of weird things happening. Like, the zany moments, those slice of life moments were so strange, but I found myself enjoying them after a while. I mean, I enjoyed them from the beginning. I found myself sort of wanting to be friends with all of them, except for without all, like, the, you know, the horror and stuff. For this one, I procrastinated and left it to the last minute, but I think it would have been okay. I think 2 weeks is good, just got busy this week because I had to do some Christmas shopping and other stuff on my week off. Okay. Okay, so in the future we can continue doing 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, it was very fun. I would have been like, yeah, I would move here. I kept thinking that too. I kept thinking, I wish I lived in Hinamizawa, but without all of the murder and death. I liked the small town vibes, and I like Rena and Mion. I liked Rena and Mion the most, but I liked Rika and Satoko too. I liked all of them. Can we talk about how long it took everyone. It seems that it took me 13 hours, but I also had it open a lot while making myself food and stuff. I'm not sure how long it took me. I guess I could probably check on Steam. Oh, there was also some stuff relevant to the Steam version that I wanted to talk about. Steam, I don't know if Steam is right. Steam says that it took me 4 hours, and that does not make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense. It said 4.7 hours. I don't... Is Steam hours usually right? Because I know it took me longer than that. Don't worry about spoiling. I've seen spoilers of the anime from way back then too. 2 weeks is okay. I think I was just busy and forgot about the date. Okay. Make yourself a Twitter to follow the Magic expanded universe related stuff. Yeah, I feel bad about the fact that people can only see my stuff if on Twitter because YouTube doesn't let me have a community page. I wish I wasn't the case that I had to force people into making Twitters. Typical anime trope characters, but I still love them. Yes, I really loved them too. I remember really loving Rena in the anime. I liked her in this too. Maybe Oh, one thing that I was gonna bring up with the Steam version is that the Steam version didn't have voice acting. And also it didn't have like CGs, and some other versions of it did, and I was looking up why that is, and it turns out it's because of copyright. The company that translated it for Steam, or localized it, or whatever you want to say, they weren't able to get the copyright of the version that has the voice acting. So that was a little disappointing to me, a little bit, that I couldn't hear the voice acting, especially when I got to like the Usoda part, the part that's like in the anime. It's really like dramatic, and Rena shouts Usoda. That part, I wanted to hear the voice acting, but I couldn't because the Steam version didn't have voice acting. I want to live in a town with psychopaths and curses. Maybe I'm weird, law. I want to live in Hinamizawa without the curses. I already said the start it seemed nice. Yeah, at the start it seemed nice. If the start part lasted forever. Okay, I'm going home now. Have a nice trip home. Yeah, it's stupid that the community page is locked. It's super stupid. Why do I have to have 1,000 followers before I can do that? Oh yeah, I looked into that too, since I was wondering why there was no VA, even though I've seen versions with it. It's pretty disappointing, isn't it? The girl who voices Rena, pretty sure her name is Maya Nakahara. When I first got into anime in like middle school, I really liked her, and I watched like a whole bunch of stuff she was in. I was like, but now I haven't, now I'm like, I don't even know if that's her name. I guess I've stopped being a huge fan. But I was like, I would like to be able to hear her voice acting. The spookiest part for me, there wasn't very many parts that genuinely freaked me out, but the part that freaked me out the most, I don't even remember if this was in the anime or not. I think that it might not have been. But it's when Keiichi, he was talking to the police officer in the phone in his room, and then he went and talked to his dad, and his dad was like, oh, were you hanging out with Rena? Because she just came up the stairs and has been listening. He was like, we just let her in, and she went upstairs. We told her which room was yours, and she was like listening outside the door to the conversation. That part really freaked me out. To me, that was the scariest part. That part gave me a chill. I didn't even remember that part being in the anime. maybe that's why it scared me, is because I don't think that was in the anime. Or maybe it was. But if it was, I don't remember it. I think it was because I remember it. Maybe I just forgot that part. Most other things I remembered. There's lots of things I want to talk to about the ending, but they didn't really... It's like, I think it's spoilers, because they didn't really explain the ending of this chapter very well, but I think they explain it more later on. So I want to be able to talk about it, but I can't. I was really expecting the ending to be a lot more in-depth and gory, I guess. But it kind of just like, it was kind of just like, you know... Because I remembered it in the anime, but they didn't really, like... I was expecting, like, really grotesque descriptions of what was going on. And there wasn't any. So... That was kind of surprising. I wonder, because I know that some really horrible stuff happens in future chapters. And I wonder if those are going to be as gross as they were in the anime or not. They have question arcs and answer arcs. Oh. Okay. So do we read chapter 2 next, or do we read like an answer arc? How does that go? Higurashi. Read order. Okay. Next is cotton drifting arc. Okay, we go to chapter 2. We don't read the answer arc yet? Okay. I thought Keiichi gets a nail ripped out. In future chapters? I don't want to discuss what happens in future chapters yet. To me, the atmosphere was really good. Having so much slice of life serves pretty well into feeling the character's anxiety of not trusting his friends he had anymore. I agree. And I thought that in some parts the music did really good, because like that one scene that really creeped me out that I was talking about, where he talks about how Rena was listening outside the door, when he goes and he talks to his dad, it starts with like this upbeat, like slice of life music, like there's about to be like a fun, lighthearted scene, and then his dad says that Rena was outside the door, and the music immediately changes, and like you feel your stomach drop. At least that's how I felt. It's like, oh, this scene that you thought was gonna be all upbeat was not. Yeah, if I was in Keiichi's position, I would feel like I was going insane. Me too. What else do I have written down? I have a lot of stuff written down that I feel like is not important. I wrote down, are the backgrounds real pictures with a filter? I think they are, and I looked and I saw that other versions of this have actual drawn backgrounds, but the Steam version has like the pictures with a filter. But I didn't mind those because I felt like they added to the sort of creepy feeling. There was like it's sort of is Uncanny Valley the correct word here for that? It was like, you know, it's like a real picture but slightly off, I guess. I didn't mind those backgrounds. The change of tone from slice of life to horror was so good. I agree. They had a lot of moments like that. Another thing related to the pictures, so in the Steam version they used the updated sprites, but they had an option in the configuration to use the original sprites. And I have a note here from when I clicked to see what the original sprites look like, and I wrote original sprites equals the true horror. I don't know if anybody else looked at the original sprites, but they're not good. They've got huge paws for hands. They look very strange. I thought they were funny. Whenever a new character would show up, I would go and I would change it to the original sprites just to see what they originally looked like for a second. It's funny because the original sprites were also so huge that it'd be like, all of a sudden they were like 10 times bigger. The original sprites like took up the whole screen. like the whole vertical side of the screen. I saw the original sprites and I agree. They're really weird looking. I've got to see what they're like. Maybe I can open up the game and show it. Can I do that? I'd probably have to change from my Hinamizawa background. I could try. Let's see. Let me see if I can show everybody the original sprites. I'm gonna open up the game. Let's just start a new game, I guess. Okay. Oh yeah, and now I'm starting again to show you the sprites. I remember that. I thought it was weird that in this chapter it starts off with by saying, the difficulty is extremely high, but I hope you will enjoy the reward. What? Difficulty? What do you mean? There's no choices in this visual novel. Difficulty? You don't do anything but read. Oh, I'm gonna have to see the... Okay, never mind. Hang on, I'm gonna have to see the intro again, aren't I? I didn't think about this. I'm going through all this just to show the original sprites. Are there choices in later chapters? I don't know. I'm not sure. Can I skip this? Okay, you know what? Here. Ah! Yeah, I was like, there's a difficulty in this game when I started it. Well, yeah, I was like, huh, difficult choices, and then there were no choices. This beginning, since I'm seeing it again right now. Here, let me try to show everybody. Let me see. Properties. Oh, here it is. Hang on. How can I make this work? Chat box, move that down here. Move myself over to the side. Move, oh god. You can't see what I'm doing, but there's a lot going on. Hey, chat box, come over here actually. Sorry. Ah! Here we go. I'm making it work. We can see the beginning again. Oh, can I turn on the music of it? Oh, the music's not playing. Oh, is it? Hang on. Oh, it's just cicadas. Can hear the mouse click ASMR. I moved myself down a bit. So, I remember thinking at this beginning that this beginning was really good, wasn't it? It was very, I don't know what the word is. It's very cinematographic. That's not a word. One thing that I didn't like in the slice of life part is how it's kind of like written like a screenplay for anime, like picking someone up by the collar of the shirt, which felt like it meant to be an anime instead of VN. I guess. I guess I could see that. There were some parts where I was reading and I was like, oh, now I understand why. Like when he pushed over Rena and it was like she just. Oh. And it was like she just like floated away in the wind. She was so light. I was like, oh, that's like in the anime she just kind of like flies away. So like really like unrealistically. I was like, okay, I understand why they made that choice now. I get what you're saying though. There is a word like that. Yeah, cinematography. Good, but it's not a movie. So I don't know. I'm going through this whole intro just to show the original sprites. Wow, isn't this intro really good? Okay, let's just skip to when you see people, and I'll show you guys the original sprites. Oh, my tummy made a noise again. Ah, here we go. Whoops. This is what they looked like originally. This is the true horror, isn't it? Why does she look like that? Look at that. Look at her thumb. Look at that thumb. Isn't it crazy that this got so popular when it looked like this? But I guess a lot of, like, it's sort of like Toho, right? Toho has really infamously bad art, but it got really popular because people are able to see past that. I do wonder, there's some scenes, like, later on where, like, Mion's in, like, a school swimsuit, and they're like, whoa, she had to wear a school swimsuit, how scandalous. It's kind of like, but, I mean, she looks like this, so it's like, is it that exciting? Or that you have to have seen an anime to imagine some of the scenes. Yeah, the intro is pretty good, as well as the throwback with the girl apologizing in the rain. Yes! Yeah, the beginning part where they talk about the apologizing. It's very good. And also, some of the music, I didn't know if this was, like, by chance or if it was actually, like, made like this, but some of the songs seemed like they had the cicadas in the song instead of just like having the cicadas as sound effects. Like the cicadas seemed to go along with the beat, and I was like, that sounds really cool. But I didn't know if I just happened to like click at the right moment where there would be sound effects at the right time to match with the beat. Whoops. Oh. Avert your eyes. Still kawaii. Rena is kawaii. I sound like a weeb saying that. But I am a weeb. I sound like what I am. I actually like it. It reminds me of old Toho, yeah. It does remind me of Toho. Should I... Toho is really hard to get to work, isn't it? Toho is hard to get to work on computers, on like modern computers in English. Isn't it hard? Maybe I shouldn't try to stream that. Must be one good story if it got as popular as it did. Yeah. The visual novel I feel like is really, like, amongst visual novel circles online, it's like still talked about a lot. I feel like visual novel fans are more like praise Higurashi more than anime fans, because lately I feel like when I first got into anime everyone was like Higurashi is such a good anime, and now it feels like more people I've heard more negative opinions towards the anime in recent years, but visual novel fans seem to overwhelmingly still be good big fans of the visual novel. I liked the anime though. I haven't seen the new one though. Big hand Mion in a swimsuit. I wonder what she looks like at that part. Kind of remind me of chibi style. It is kind of chibi, isn't it? Her hand is so huge. I mean, it's like you could definitely get used to it, you know? It feels like if you play it for long enough, you could get used to it. Oh, there's Satoko, and there's Rika. Wow. Well, I think I'll leave this up for the nice music. Now we have music that's actually like from the visual novel instead of my BGM. I wonder if like I wonder if like future versions of the visual novel had more songs. I felt like there weren't very many. I felt like I liked the BGM, but I felt like there wasn't that many songs. But it was a pretty short VN. Chapter 1's pretty short, so maybe that's why. It actually isn't hard depending on what game. Everything Toho 6 onwards is relatively easy to run. You do have to pirate it though. That's how it is with a lot of Japanese games. Nowadays, it seems like a lot more Japanese games are getting easier to access. But when I first got into like visual novels, like most visual novels you had no option but to pirate in English. I'm glad that that's changing though, so that we can actually support the industry. Opinions have changed a lot. Naruto used to be one of the best, but recent opinions don't think so. That's true. Also, one thing that was changing when this was like more of like the older generation of anime fans, like my uncle, who was really into anime, is a big fan of Elfen Lied. But by the time I got into anime, most people sort of thought it was kind of bad. By the time I got into anime, because opinions just changed so much. Like it used to be like really well loved and stuff like that, like in like when it came out, like an old anime fandom. But by the time I was in it, people didn't really think that anymore. It's interesting how people's opinions change, or like how the general public's opinion changes. Oh, a note that I took was kana pun is missing in English. Rena has this cute little pun where at the end of her sentences, you kind of see it in the translation where she'll be like, she'll ask like, isn't something, and then she'll end the sentence by repeating herself by saying, isn't it? It's like, isn't it so fun, isn't it? She'll say that. And in Japanese, it's like she says kana, and it's supposed to be a pun because kana is like a sound effect of cicadas. So that's a cute little pun that she has. And then Rika, her me is another sound effect of cicadas. Like all the like character catchphrases in this game are based off of cicadas. Or based off of like cicada sound effects. Or onomatopoeia. That's the word, onomatopoeia. Yeah, I feel like I don't hear people talk about Elfen Lied anymore as much as I used to hear about it. Oh yeah, I liked Elfen Lied, but now I think it's kind of cringe. It's just the part of growing up, hating on the stuff you liked as a kid. That's true. I used to really love Mirai Nikki, and now I don't. Elfen Lied has got some controversial scenes. I don't think gore and shock wow people anymore. Psychological is more popular. Yeah, I agree. I never saw those, and it never got my attention. I never watched it either. I just remember like I think like Giguk back when he was the Anime Zone. I used to watch like, now I'm like really showing like what time period I got into anime. I remember watching him do a video about Elfen Lied. Was it him or somebody else? Or now this is, I don't know. But I remember watching a review of it like when I first got into anime, and then talking about how bad it was, and like the blood pinatas. This is what people always say with that show, is blood pinatas. And then I found out that like it used to be like really like renowned, and I was like, huh, interesting. Like I remember my uncle recommended it to me when I got into anime, which first of all is kind of a weird recommendation for like a middle schooler. Which is weird because also he told me that I was too young to watch Fooly Cooly. He was like, Fooly Cooly is not appropriate for you. But then he recommended the Elfen Lied. Very weird recommendations from my anime fan uncle. But I think most of the anime that he watched like on Cartoon Network. like on Adult Swim. And I think they might have aired Elfen Lied back in the day, and they probably censored it a lot, you know? So maybe his version wasn't as disturbing. I don't know. Not an anime I'd recommend to a middle schooler. Yeah, me neither. It pushed the boundaries at the time. That's true. Like, nowadays, that's not really shocking anymore. But I'm sure back then it would have been. Definitely not something I would recommend to a kid. Yeah. I also, another story about when I first got into anime, I got into Higurashi pretty much when I first got into anime. Like, the anime, not the visual novel. And I remember bringing it up to my uncle, and my uncle being like, I don't like anime for girls. What does that mean? Higurashi is for girls? What? I thought that was a strange thing to say. He was like, I don't like girly anime. I thought it was a very strange statement. I don't think I would describe Higurashi as particularly girly. Growing up with Western cartoons which are mostly cute to going into something like Elfen Lied will leave you with an impact you probably won't forget. Yeah. I've mentioned this before, but my first anime was School Days, so I did start with something pretty dark and also pretty bad. I watched School Days because I saw it on like a list of like top 10 weird things from Japan. It was back when people were making like top 10 lists like that all the time, and School Days was on there. I was like, what is this? And then I watched it, and then that flung me headfirst into watching a ton of anime. He probably saw a very spoiler-free description of it and thought it was just slice of life. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Higurashi did seem to be like a proper slice of life, but if you stick with it, it changes. He probably saw the first episode and was like, meh. Yeah, that was probably it. I still thought it was a funny response. Have you seen the School Days VTuber? What? Who? Really? I have to look this up. Is it gonna be Kotonoha? I feel like Kotonoha is the one everyone does, but she was my least favorite. School Days VTuber. Search. Oh, it is Kotonoha. Is it voiced by the actual voice actress? What is this? Kotonoha? What is she doing? What is happening? This is a weird video. Why are the comments in Spanish? What's wrong with her neck? What? Okay. I just watched a very weird video. I don't know what that was. Her neck's like going crazy. I don't know what she's saying, but it sounds interesting. That was wacky. There's also that visual novel. It's an English visual novel, Go Go Nippon or whatever it's called. Those have official VTubers based on them. Like the characters have official VTubers. I haven't watched them, but I saw that. Actually, not sure. I just remember seeing it on my timeline one day, but I never saw it. Lol. I wonder. This video is from about a year ago. It's from Christmas last year. Is she still around? Miko got recognized by VTuber Kotonoha, heroine from School Days? What? Oh, they have a link to her channel. Oh, here's her channel. Oh, she's been streaming 8 days. Okay. Does she... It looks like she just streams... Oh, she did Doki Doki. Well, I guess I'm about to become a Kotonoha stan. In the anime, I didn't really like Kotonoha that much, but maybe I will like her as a VTuber. She was always the most popular one because she's, you know, looking back on it, Kotonoha is the more likable one. But as a kid, when I watched it for the first time, like in middle school, I liked Sekai. Most people freaking hate Sekai, but I liked her. Maybe it's because I always just like the more Genki type. Most people hate Sekai. Because she's kind of a... She's kind of... Sekai's not the best character. But she's the one I liked when I watched it when I was like 12. Was the first one that popped up on Google? If so, yeah, it was weird. Yeah, the video was the first one that popped up when I searched School Days VTuber on Google. And it was very weird. School Days is not a VN we could do in the book club. I don't think. Because I think that one is very, very, very lewd. I don't think they have an all ages version of that one. I always kind of wanted to play the visual novel though because it has like so many crazy endings on YouTube that I've watched like so many of the endings on YouTube. Like the anime already had a crazy ending, but the visual novel has like a bazillion potential crazy endings. One of the notes I took from like the opening scene, I wrote WTF? Whip it out? Venus? Because it was so weird. That scene when they first introduced Mion, she's just like telling Keiichi to just whip it out. What was up with that? She was like, whip it out. And he was like, okay. And then Rena's like, wait, no. What was up with that? Why was that happening? That was so strange. Oh, I also wrote nice boing sound effect because there were lots of times where there was just like it would just be like boing. There were lots of like nice boing sound effects. I don't mean that. I mean it was never used. I feel like I'm not referring to like boobs. I don't mean boing in that way. I mean like there is just like lots of moments where they would play a boing sound effect, and I thought that was a nice sound effect. Mion is out there. Yeah, the part was crazy. I always liked Mion a lot. Mion and Rena were my favorites when I watched the anime back in the day. I wrote, it's weird that they all have different school uniforms, and then the game explained that like 2 seconds after I wrote that. I wrote nice excuse for having a harem because they were like, oh, the reason why I don't have any male friends is because all the boys at this school are so much younger than me. I was like, that's a nice excuse for why they have why you have a harem. That's how you can make it into a harem. I like Mion. She is a homie. I agree. Mion's a bro. Do you think if Keiichi told them about his talk with the officer, things would be different? Maybe. I don't. Maybe. Well, the thing is with this with this chapter is I feel like everything is not as it seems. You know. I feel like maybe a lot of the things we saw might not have been as they really happened. You know. It seemed like there were lots of things that made me feel like, oh, maybe this isn't like maybe Keiichi is an unreliable narrator. There are lots of moments that made me wonder if that could be the case. I was wondering a lot about things like that. Or maybe I'm wrong. It wouldn't really be different since they would get really pissed off either way. Was it actually Keiichi going insane? That's kind of what I was wondering. I don't, like, I felt like it left so many things open-ended, because at the end when Keiichi was on the phone with the officer, and he was talking about how they were like, oh, he, like, ripped his throat out, made me wonder, you know? made me wonder a lot of things. Like, I guess we'll find out in the answer arc, though. But they wouldn't be pissed off with Keiichi because he didn't lie to them. That's true. The reason they were angry was because of the lies. What other notes did I take? I wrote, camera guy is ripped. Why was he so ripped? I wrote Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders. In the anime, they changed his name to Kenta-kun. But in this, they were like, Colonel Sanders. Copyright, we don't. I mean, Colonel Sanders was a real person, so I guess he wouldn't be copywritten, right? I don't know. But I thought it was funny that Colonel Sanders was like an actual kind of character in this. Well, they introduced some guys that came out of nowhere. Yeah, the ending was confusing with like all the people in the vans and like the manager. They were like, oh, here we called the manager. What does that mean? Who is that? Did you guys watch the, after you finish the game, you can watch the cast, was it like the cast thing? It's like all the characters were talking about like, they were talking as if they were actors. It was cute. It was a cute little thing. They're talking about like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen in the next chapter. I thought it was cute. And they were like bringing up theories. Were they angry because of the lies or because what he did went against the god they believed in or the curse? I don't... I wonder. They talked about... I'm not sure. It's also interesting when they talked about Rena's backstory, too. It makes you wonder... I wonder if there's going to be an arc that goes back into that, where we can see what happened there or something. Yeah, I watched that. I started it, but I haven't finished it yet. Ooh, I gotta watch that when I get to the end of this chapter. It was pretty cute. I liked it a lot. The longer that this is, that the original art is on screen, the more I feel like I become accustomed to it. The longer I'm looking at this, the longer I'm like, I could probably deal with that if it was in the time period when this first came out. Kind of reminds me of like, it reminds me of like really old Studio Key stuff. Like when I played Canon, the art in that's pretty bad, but I got used to it after a while. Although this is probably worse. The Higurashi is probably worse. I don't have many notes after that because after a certain point, I got distracted with the plot and I stopped taking notes because I was too into it. I wrote unvoiced Usoda. I already talked about that though. I was upset that it wasn't voiced. I wrote Rena was listening outside the door, and then I drew like a shocked face. And then I wrote, why are they censoring the word killed? I thought that was a weird thing, that some parts, like some random words were like censored, like killed and die, and what was it? There's another word that was censored. I was like, why is that censored? I guess, I'm not sure why. I thought it was weird. The old sprites are more recognizable to me since I've seen these sprites the most online. Oh. I don't know. I've seen them before, but I didn't really look at them much until I got into the configurations, because I remember I was looking, where is the voice acting option? That's what I was doing, and then I saw, character sprites, original? They're kind of cute in a way, though, aren't they? With their giant paw hands. It's a little cute. It's a little cute. Oh, God. What was she doing there? Dang. That's kind of horrifying. That's a little, just like... The parts where Rena was switching between normal Rena and Psycho Rena were pretty creepy. The way they did the change in music and sound worked well. I agree. Those are the parts where I wanted the voice acting the most. I assume it was censored for stylistic reasons. Oh. Like Danganronpa with its pink blood. Mutant hands. Yes, I agree. The song is great, isn't it? I could listen to this all day. What's that noise? Oh, I think it's the rain. There's like a wet noise. I'm pretty sure it's the rain. It's raining outside. I went to get the mail not that long before stream, and there's this stray kitty that's so nice. It's always around, and he was all wet and cold, and I was like, oh, I felt so bad for him. I was trying to like lead him up into this area that has like the area outside my door that has like a little roof so he wouldn't get rained on, but he really didn't want to go up there. Leaves so many questions. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. Should each book club be like an hour long? I don't know if there's much else to discuss. Adopt a new cat. The thing is, though, that cat is kind of like a... I call him a stray cat, but I guess he's like a community cat, they call him. Where, like, the neighbors feed him a lot and let him in. And I don't know how the neighbors would feel about that. I feel like they think of him as their cat, even though they leave him outside most of the time and he's always cold. I don't know. He's super sweet, though. Also, my cat hates other cats. I don't know how that would work. And one time Amiko let him into her house, and I think it was her cat hissed at him. I don't remember which one. I don't know if he hissed at her cat or if her cat hissed at him, but I don't know. I would like to adopt him. I don't think I can, though. I don't think the neighbors already don't like... I don't know. They're kind of strange. They kind of scare me. They kind of like sit outside in their car in their parking lot a lot, and like they make me nervous when I walk past them. I feel like the big cans are telling us that the Hinamizawa residents are all allergic to bees, telling us their weakness in a subtle way. That's the plot twist. I see. Okay, I have a box for a house. I had a little, because, there's like that little area, like I talked about, that has like a little roof over it, and I had a little cat bed over there, and I put like, I would have a heated up water bottle underneath a blanket, and like, I put that there to keep cats warm, and I put cat food out, but no cats liked it. Like, he wouldn't come up there, and no other cats would come up there. I was like, I'm trying to make the cats nice and warm, but I guess not. What? Why are they doing that? I don't know. They're very strange. I don't know. They make me nervous sometimes. I don't know why they always just hang out outside in their car all day. Like, in the parking lot, which we share it with them, kind of. Like it's a parking lot that divides into our parking lot and their parking lot, and so I have to walk through it to get to my house, and I always feel like like they're all sitting there in the car and then they stare at me when they walk by. Speaking of bees, I got stung on my head while harvesting honey from our bees. Oh no! You have bees? I hope that you're okay. I guess if you're not allergic, you're probably okay, right? It's interesting that you have bees, though. What's it like having bees? Yeah, 2 hives. I'm good. Wow. I live on a farm. Wow. I wish that was me. Is that fun, or do you not like it? I guess it's okay, just let them do what they want. The bees. Bees are cute, I think. I like bees. Although, I guess if there were bees around me, I might be nervous about being stung. Oh my gosh, in this room earlier today there was a giant spider, and I tried to throw it out the window and then it jumped on the floor and it ran away, and I don't know where it is now, so there's a giant spider somewhere in my house. It's nice and relaxing, but my internet is bad. I guess that's the thing if you live out, like, in the country. No, I hate spiders. Me too. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. Does anybody else have anything to discuss about the first chapter of Higurashi? I don't know how long each visual novel book club should even be. I guess just as long as... I guess it could be longer if we have more things to discuss. There was lots of weird dialogue in this game, wasn't there? There are lots of things that made me be like, huh? Especially in like the slice of life moments. Looking at a calendar, 2 weeks from now is the 1st of January, but should we switch that to like the 2nd or something? The 1st is like kind of a holiday. I don't know if every birdie would be available. I don't even know what I'm doing on that day. Probably nothing. I'm sure the streams will get longer as we continue reading, since this is just the start of the VN. That's true. We'll probably have more to talk about. We can discuss it until it's done, then we can have chat with Maggie time. We could chat for a while. I've been playing The Sims all day until stream started. Or all night, I guess it would be. I think we need to pick one with choices. Yeah. After we finish Higurashi? Or does it... be done with either the 1st or the 2nd for the next book club stream. I think the 2nd. would maybe be better. I don't know. I usually don't really do anything for New Year's. I'm kind of a boring person. I don't do very many things. So I don't even know if I'm doing anything on New Year's. Sims 2 stream when? I don't know. I did try to do a practice capture of The Sims 2, and I think I did get it to kind of work. So I might be able to do that sometime. The thing is, I don't think I could use my normal background. I would have to do like a situation like this where I would have to have a different background with the game on the side. Just because it has such a weird aspect ratio. It doesn't fit well at all. I mean, most games don't fit in my little window, but it fit really particularly terribly. I don't know. I might actually do that soon. But I guess I always think, will that be boring? Oh yeah, or the fact that the principal is on martial arts. Oh my god, I forgot about that. It was also a very weird moment. So was the whole scene of them playing games. I forgot about that part. That was really weird. I'm on a birthday on the 1st, probably. Your birthday or another person's birthday? I think the 2nd is a Sunday, right? Yeah, the 2nd is a Sunday. So we could do it on the 2nd at 9 a.m., I think. Tomorrow I'm going to a play, but I don't know what the play is called or what it is. I don't remember. Another person. Oh. Have fun at the birthday. Was that when Kay had to do all the punishments? Yeah. He had to go touch the principal on the head. Wasn't that it? On his bald head. He had to wear a girls' school swimsuit. And he had to call Rena master and call Satoko One-chan. Very interesting part. Had the balding principal, yeah. Yeah, he had to do that. That was wacky and zany. I wonder if in the future ones, if Keiichi would get a sprite or if he won't. Or if he will remain spriteless. Like, it was the anime what created his appearance? He became a cat boy. Oh yeah, that did happen too. Lots of things happened. It was very wacky. Oh, I just yawned. I'm sorry. I can't even think of things to talk about. Because all I've been doing is playing The Sims. I really don't have a very interesting life. Besides streaming, I go to work and play The Sims, and that's about it. I've been playing a lot with Lazy Duchess's story progression mod, and that mod is really great, and I would recommend it to anyone who is playing The Sims 2 who wants story progression. How are your Sims doing? They're doing good. Some of them. I've been mostly playing with this royal family that I made, but, well, here's the thing. The Sims is more fun to play if you're broke and dying, so I made this storyline that doesn't really make sense if you think about it, but, you know, it's like, it's a sort of storyline where you just, you know, it's The Sims. It doesn't have to make sense as long as it's fun. So I made them this royal family who is broke. They're on the run because, like, I don't know, their castle got burnt out or something, I don't know. I didn't really think too hard about it. So they're having to rebuild their legacy from the ground up. And I've been having a lot of fun. I like forcing them into arranged marriages and things like that. Because if they're in arranged marriages, then you get all sorts of scandals. That's one of the fun part of playing, like, royalty Sims. I've only been playing games so I understand law. Mainly helping my brother and some friends complete dungeons on Destiny 2. Well, I've never played Destiny. I don't know much about it. I guess when the first Destiny came out, my dad was really into it, and I did see him play it a little bit, but I still don't know anything about it. Are you building basement torture chambers for them? Not yet, but, you know, maybe in the future if, you know, usually if there's a basement torture chamber, there's a reason for it. And we're still, like, on the first generation, so I haven't gotten to it. My other Sims town that I would probably be the one that I would show you if I ever did a stream where I showed my towns, because that one I've been running for years. There is one house that has a basement torture chamber, but there's a reason for it, okay? The Sim that made the torture chamber has 0 niceness points, and he's always beating up people, and he's always doing it by himself. I don't make him do it. I'm the type where, for a lot of my Sims, I like to sort of let them go with the flow and develop their own personalities more. And he just, you know, would always beat people up and get into arguments with people, and anytime you took him to a family reunion, he was beating up children. Like, who does that? Who goes to family reunions and beats up children? So it made sense for him to have a basement torture dungeon. Like, yeah. Because, like, it just made sense for a Sim like him, who was just evil and beating people up all the time, and he was really mad at this lady, so she's in the basement. Also, it's not a basement torture dungeon. It's a basement kidnap dungeon. You can't really torture people in The Sims. I guess you probably can with mods. But she's kind of, you know, she's locked in the basement. Well, his first victim in the basement actually got away, and now she lives in a tiny little apartment. I decided for storyline purposes that she was going to run away, so she ran away. And now she lives in a tiny, crappy apartment, and I made her a prostitute because that's fun. And now there's another person in his basement. Back in time for shipping Sims. I just got the Final Fantasy VII Remake for PC, really enjoying it. I've never played a Final Fantasy game either. I guess I kind of did. As a kid, I had like a Game Boy Final Fantasy game, but I never got very far in it. Totally logical reasons, in my opinion. It was very logical reasons. And then you use the cowboy. I love the cowboy emoji. It's one of my favorites. You can torture them by making them eat the same meal for the rest of their sim life. Unfortunately, they don't really care about that. Maybe they do in the future games like Sims 3 and Sims 4, but in the Sims 2, they don't mind it. I mean, the basement, I made it kind of wrong, and so it didn't have like accurate walls because I used the wrong type of foundation for the basement. So she wasn't able to have a toilet because the toilet needs to be attached to a wall, and there were no actual walls. It was just kind of like a hole in the ground underneath the building, and so it wouldn't let me put down any toilets. So I guess that's sort of a way of torture, is that she didn't have a toilet. For full storyline, I like it. Yeah, there's always a storyline. I mean, I could really, even without opening the game, I could just tell everybody all the stories of all those Sims in that town. But I won't. I don't think I will, because I don't know if that'd be that interesting. He's probably the most interesting one. He's the craziest. ... Well, it's not my fault that if you guys, I'll do a stream where I'll show you guys the house, and then you'll see, oh, that's what I'll show you. It won't let me put down any toilets in the basement. Because the walls don't really work in that basement. Because you have to use, so in The Sims, The Sims 2, you're not really supposed to be able to make basements. You have to kind of like cheat it a little bit. And I did it wrong. You're supposed to use, like, there's a brick foundation, but I accidentally used this wood foundation instead. And so it wouldn't let me add walls to the basement. And the toilets don't work if they're not attached to a wall. So there was a reason. Now he lives in his house with his spoiled teenage daughter, who is a brat. And she doesn't even know that there's somebody in their basement right now. Oh, he also, before, there was another guy, I forgot. His dad, well, his dad was in the basement. Because he blamed his dad for the reason he's so ugly. Because the storyline with that was his mom and Beatrice, so she had 2 twin daughters with this one guy, but then they were just dating, and then they broke up. And then one of her cats ran away once her teen daughters were already adults. And the guy who brought back her cats was, like, who found her cat and brought it back was this guy named Goopy Gills Carbo, and he's this pre-made sim who's a townie, and he's really hideous. And but even though he is so hideous, the mom, her name was Beatrice, that's what I named her. She was so she was so grateful that her cat was got back that she married him immediately. And then they had the evil son. And Goopy got plastic surgery, but plastic surgery, you may not know this, but it's not actually genetic, it turns out. And so he was really hideous and ugly, and everybody always made fun of him for being hideous and ugly. And his mom was absolutely beautiful. She was one of the most beautiful Sims I've had born in game, naturally born in game. And so it was his dad's fault he was so ugly. So he locked his dad in the basement, and then his dad died. But his mom never knew that. His mom just thought that the dad just, like, left the household, like, left to get a jug of milk and never came back. She thought it was that sort of situation. She died of old age, never even knowing that her son had killed her husband because he is so ugly. A 5-hour stream in the background in Lord Maggie's Sims 2 world. That's the thing. That's what it would come down to. It would be very long. There's too much to discuss. Like, this is only one of the families I'm telling you about right now. Maggie, when will you publish the book of your Sims Town stories? Could I publish a book of them? Just change all the names of pre-made Sims so that it all seems like change things a little bit so then people don't know it's based on The Sims, and then it's a story. There we go. That's a reward and a half. Getting married because they found the cats. She always cheated on him though. But it was okay, guys. They were kind of both okay. They both cheated on each other, but they were both kind of okay with it. Because they were both romance sims. And in The Sims 2, romance sims always want to cheat. But if you have this mod called ACR, which I use, that makes, like, the romance a lot better in the game and work a lot better. And it makes autonomous romance a thing, so your sims can kind of choose their own partners. It makes it so that if a romance sim is dating another romance sim, they won't get jealous. You can change it so they will get jealous, but I kind of liked their kind of dynamic of them both just not even caring about the fact that they were both cheating on each other. It was very wacky and zany. You know what happened the other day in my Sims town? I have too many things to tell about my Sims. This was a different town. And in this town, one of the Sims was in college. Well, 2 of the Sims were in college, actually, together. and it was raining outside and lightning, and the lightning caught a tree and the tree caught on fire. And normally when that happens, the rain puts the fire out, but it stopped raining like right after the tree caught on fire. And then the Sims ran outside to go look at the fire, and I kept trying to get them to go inside to go call the fire department, but they wouldn't because they were too panicked at the fire. And I thought they were going to die, and their needs were getting really low. And then finally, one of them managed to get over to the phone and call. I was like, oh, thank God. They were like both like close to death from just being on fire. And then my Sim, one of the Sims, I had her go back into the house to like get her needs back up and stuff like that. And then she spontaneously combusted and caught on fire again and died. And it turns out spontaneous combustion is like a rare event that can happen in The Sims 2, and that's the only time I ever saw it. It was like right after we had that other fire, and I thought that she was safe, and then she caught on fire and died. It was crazy. I feel like I have too many stories about The Sims. I feel like that just reveals... I don't know what it says about me, but it's probably not good. I play too much Sims. Polyamorous. Yeah, they were polyamorous. Goopy and Beatrice. If they just cheat on each other and don't care, that's just an open relationship. Yeah. That's true. They were a pretty good couple, but then their son locked him in the basement and killed him. What a shame. Oh damn, achievement unlocked. I also had a really rare event the other day where one of my Sims, he got home from work and it wasn't even raining outside, and he got out of the car to go back into the house, and immediately he got struck by lightning. I was like, where did that lightning come from? It's not even raining. That was pretty wacky. Oh, guys. Another thing I was doing is at work, I was listening to the audiobook of the first book of the Game of Thrones books. I don't know if anybody here likes Game of Thrones, but I started listening to the book. But I don't know. I was listening to it at work, and then some things were happening in the book, and I started to think, should I be listening to this at work? What we know about Maggie: 1 is at least 3 years old. 2 lives and breathes The Sims 2. That's true. Sims 2 and Animal Crossing. Just want to say Sakamoto using thumbtacks as a prank is crazy. We used to throw them on each other's chairs at school and they hurt. I bet they would hurt. I remember getting a push pin stuck in my foot one time as a kid, and that hurt really bad. I guess, I don't know. I don't, thumbtacks, they're probably thicker, aren't they? That'd probably hurt more, wouldn't it? My Maggie's sim world is more interesting than my own. You should be glad that you weren't spontaneously combusting. It's interesting, but probably not in a way that you would want to experience it. Especially because I don't like to I don't know. It's more fun if my Sims are suffering, you know? It's more fun if they're like poor and dying than if they're like rich and living happy lives. Because then it gets boring and too easy. I don't think if it's too easy. Game of Thrones, the series, is good till the ending. I've heard that. Does the book have those steamy scenes? It definitely did, and I was thinking, I'm at work now. Why am I listening to this? And it's like, maybe I should turn this off. I was like, no, nobody can hear it, but I still felt like, So Maggie is an S. Towards Sims, I guess. I mean, a game is more fun if there's a challenge, right? That's how I feel about The Sims. Wait, you haven't watched the series? Yeah, I haven't watched the series. I just, I don't, well, it started off with me watching all these history videos about real life, like, royal families and stuff like that, which is also why I made that royal family in The Sims. I was like, this is really interesting. And I didn't know what Game of Thrones is about, but I heard the title is Game of Thrones. I was like, that's probably about, like, people killing each other because they're royalty or something. I'm gonna read that, or I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, because that gives me something to do at work. You know, I always need something to do at work. And I'm always looking for new, like, audiobooks or, like, interesting YouTube videos that I don't have to watch, or, like, podcasts or stuff like that to listen to at work. I was like, maybe I'll try the audiobook for Game of Thrones. So I did. I did watch the first 2 episodes of the series, though, but I haven't watched past that because I don't want to get further than I am in the book. You would like Dark Souls? That might be too hard. I've heard that's really hard. I don't know, maybe. Maybe I would like Dark Souls. The book is really long too. I've been listening for like 3 work days and I still have a lot in the first book left. But I'll tell you what, I am a little confused. I feel like somewhere along the way I kind of lost what was happening. I don't know if it's because at work a lot of times I get distracted and then I have to go back, or what it was. But it does get, like, I did get kind of lost. You enjoyed Hades, though. I am enjoying Hades. I do want to stream more of that sometime. At first I was gonna schedule a stream for tomorrow to play more Hades. Then I remembered that I'm supposed to be going to a play. I don't even know, that play, it's at a weird time. It's gonna be weird for my usual sleep schedule. And then I have to work later that night. So I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be kind of busy. Isn't it like a lot of books? Yeah, there's a lot of them. I don't know if I'll finish them. I might not. I feel the same when I listen to audiobooks, so I feel like I need to physically read it to fully grasp the story. Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like I should really actually read it. But I guess the thing is I was mostly looking at it as, like, a thing to spend time on, or to pass the time away at work, you know? Because I'm allowed to listen to things in my headphones, and I get tired of listening to the same songs every day, especially because YouTube, I used to just listen to the YouTube mixes that they would make for me, but that just picks the same few songs over and over again. It makes me kind of irritated. Even if it's a mix based on a different song, it still somehow ends up with the same few songs. And I don't know. I get bored of listening to the same songs over and over and over again. So I like to listen to, like, podcast. I used to listen to a lot of the Trash Taste podcast, but I don't really listen to it very much anymore because they don't talk about anime anymore, and I'm not that interested. And lots of YouTube videos, like the kind of YouTube videos where you don't have to watch, like pretty much ones where people are just talking. But I feel like I've run out of those. I need more YouTube videos. Or audiobooks. The Game of Thrones, I'm not sure if I'm really going to continue the Game of Thrones audiobook that much because, like I said, I feel like I got lost. Dark Souls is fun if you're resistant to rage quitting. I'd say it's not that hard since I managed to beat it as an 11-year-old, but I was probably way better at games back then compared to now. Yeah, I might try that out. Maybe I'll try that out on stream. But if I do stream that, don't expect me to finish it. If I find it too frustrating, it might be a one stream, try it out sort of thing. Yeah, I watch podcasts and random videos when I'm working since I got bored of listening to the same music. Yeah, me too. Like, Amiko listens to music all day at work, and I don't understand how she does it. To me, like, I got so bored of it. Doesn't Keiichi have his own sprites? I swear I thought I saw him. I don't think he did in this version. I don't know if he does in any other versions. I have like 3 podcasts and 2 for driving. Are they good? Would you like to recommend them? Do you think I would like them? I don't know very many podcasts. I pretty much only listen to like Trash Taste. I think that's it. I know there are other podcasts that I have listened to in the past, but I like ones that are about like weeb stuff or niche interests. Am I just picturing the anime? Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember him being in this. Like having a sprite. One of the songs that YouTube Mix plays me every day is stuck in my head now. I watch Trash Taste. Me too. I used to watch it a lot. I've watched the last few ones, I think. I usually like it more if they have like a themed episode though, or if they have like a guest. I like when they do like the anime 3x3 episode, or like the manga 3x3, the hentai episode. And like when they have guests on. That's usually when I like it the most. But like usually if they don't really have like a one topic, I don't know. I don't usually listen to those ones. I liked the one they had recently with the guy who was the host. Ugh, my tummy keeps making noises again. Every stream. Every stream. I like so they're just friends yelling at each other for their bad opinions. I used to listen to the Procrastinators podcast, other stuff like that. I've never heard of that. See if this guy the universe is a science one, go after pseudoscience stuff and just discuss new science discoveries. That sounds interesting. Did you eat? I ate around like 7. I ate around like 7. And I was like, I'm eating earlier than I did last time. Or later. I'm eating later than I did last time. Closer to stream time. But my stomach is still making noises. What's up with that? Why does my stomach just always make noises? Am I dying? Is that it? 4 hours ago? 4 hours ago? Oh, it's making more noises. Why is this happening? I need to keep some snacks on hand. I don't want to eat on stream though. I'm gonna go get more water. I'm out of water. What? Oh no! Ah! Oh, ah, ah. My foot got caught on the mic and I almost knocked it over. Okay, I'll be back. I'm back. What? Hello. Maybe try not dying for a change. That's a good idea. The Geek Box is another one I listen to. Talk about games, movies, comics, and TC shows. What's TC shows? Or do you mean TV shows? Oh, TV. I'll write these down. Sorry, typo. That's okay. Oh wait, I don't have a pen. I will write these down in Notepad on my computer. Typing ASMR. Does anybody else really love the sound of people typing? I could listen to that. Like, typing ASMR is a type of ASMR I could definitely listen to. Okay. The Procrastinators Podcast. The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. The Geek Box. Okay. I feel like it's hard for me to find good podcasts. I'll check all these ones out. I feel like I'll look up like podcasts, like I'll look up like something I'm interested in and try to find podcasts based on that thing. And oh my gosh, my stomach made a loud noise there. And then it won't be a very good podcast. I'll be like, oh, I don't like this one very much. I'm sure no one would be upset if you did eat on stream. I feel like I'd be embarrassed. And I only stream for like 2 hours usually. My stomach is just noisy. Maybe I am dying. Maybe I should see a doctor. Maybe I should say, my stomach makes noises all the time. What's up with that? Is that a thing that you go to a doctor for? I don't know. I'm the type of person who's really paranoid, though. I always think I'm dying. Hypochondriac. Depends on the keyboard noises for me. I like really clicky keyboards, like mechanical. They call those mechanical keyboards, I think, right? The really clicky ones. I like those. The comedy button is the other one I listen to. It's a bunch of game journals talking about stupid stuff. It makes me laugh out loud. Okay, I'll write that too. Now I have a few podcasts to try out and see if I like them. This song is great. Mechanical keyboards are nice. I'm following r/mechanical keyboards. Am I the only one who will just follow a subreddit for like a niche interest that I'm not involved in, but I just like to see people who are really into it? Like I'll be like, oh, I'm not really, like I'm not into that, but I like to see people who are. It's like, I'm following like r/Neopets. I haven't logged into Neopets since I was like 7 years old. But I'm following r/Neopets and I like to see all these people and how like serious they are about Neopets. I'm following so many subreddits of hobbies that I'm not involved in or games I haven't played. I'm following Crusader Kings, r/Crusader Kings. I've never played a Crusader Kings game. Clicky sounds are good. I agree. I am in there. r/mechanical keyboards. That is a fun subreddit. I like to look at people's keyboards, and they say fancy words about like this is something. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it's cool, isn't it? It's cool to see people talk about things they're passionate about, so it makes sense. Yeah, it's really fun. r/Superb Owl. Yeah, I know that one. What do you think this one is about? You'd think it was about the Super Bowl, but it's Superb Owl. It's about owls. I know that one already. You tried to trick me, but I'm already familiar with that one. Ha 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 ha. I just kind of sit here and wobble back and forth because I can't think of things to talk about unless people are asking me questions. Ha ha ha, oh, Maggie says no. I know about that subreddit. I know all about it. I'm a professional. I follow only subreddits of stuff I'm into or things that apply to me, since that way I can read about stuff that might be important to me. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that makes more sense than what I do. I think it's probably weird for me to be following a bunch of subreddits of things that I don't even partake in. Or I'll be like, wow, that's a thing that people are really into. Oh, I'm gonna follow that subreddit because I've never even heard of that before. I'll do that too with some things. Before stream started, I was working on, right now I've been trying to write a plot line for a Sims town that I want to actually like make for the public and post on Mod The Sims. People make towns that they can, like pre-made towns that they made for other people to play, and I've been working on that because I thought that'd be a fun project to work on. That's what I was doing. I was writing down ideas. I think that's gonna be a fun project for me. I'm in lots of subs I'm not actually involved with. It's interesting. I agree. Following, like, farming related subreddits. That's because I wish I was a farmer, but I'm not. I wish I was. Her hands, yeah. Her hands are horrifying. I turned this on so that I could, I turned on this mode so I could show everybody how insane the sprites look. That sounds pretty interesting. I think it's gonna be fun. Do you know how to make a mod, or is it more scenarios? It's more like, scenarios, like, it's like, you just create a town with a bunch of characters, and usually with like an overarching story. Most people will try to put like some mystery into it, probably because the towns that came with the games have like some pretty interesting mysteries and storylines in it. And so it's like people will download your town and they'll play with The Sims. You know, it's just like a fun little community thing that lots of people do, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do. Even though the thing is, I'm horrendous at making houses, but I'm going to try to overcome that. And you know, even if the houses turn out bad, I still think it's a fun project. I still think I'll have fun with it. And like, there aren't that many like downloadable towns on Mod The Sims overall, and I feel like there's always room for more. Like, I'm the type of person where I'm constantly looking for more custom towns because I think it's fun to play with Sims that other people made, especially because then there will be storylines or Sims that I would never have thought of making myself, you know? It's like, oh, I'm playing with a completely different sort of Sim than I would ever create myself. So since I like to download towns like that, I thought it'd be fun to try to make one on my own. I don't know. Should I share it with people here? Should I? I feel like I might be embarrassed if my house, especially if my houses turn out bad. They probably will. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll post it under. Maybe I'll like link to it on Twitter or something once I'm done with it. Oh, my mom just texted me. She said that her and Amiko are going shopping and she wants to know if I want to go. I'm going to ask her what time I might be going shopping. That sounds fun. Is she wiping tears or getting ready to fight? She might be doing both. Oh, that sounds cool. It reminds me of FIFA. FIFA is the soccer game, isn't it? People make a snare for you to follow to try and spice up the game. Posted anonymously. FIFA is the soccer game, right? FIFA. Soccer game. That's interesting. I didn't know you could make like a scenario for that game. Ah. Oh, I'm getting so many messages. I might have to go soon because I might be going shopping. I don't know, I might post it and share it for everybody to see. Maybe I'll even do a video. I could do a video. This is the Sims town I made that you can all download if you want to. Maybe I'll do a video of it. That might be fun. But it'll probably be a while till I finish it, because right now I'm still in the planning stage anyway. I'd be interested to see it. I think it'd probably be best if I did like a video, because I think a lot of people who follow me don't even play The Sims 2 anyways. I'll have to look into The Sims 2. You could try it out. I think it might be abandonware, so you might be able to download it for free, because I think they might have abandoned it. The EA might have abandoned it. I'm not sure. Maybe you can get it on Origin. I have it on Origin, but I've had it for a really long time, so I don't know if it's still available on there. You might have to look into how to get it. A video would be fun. I think it would be fun too. I could show all the houses and tell you all the storylines. I already have a lot of fun storyline ideas in mind. It's gonna be wacky and it's gonna be zany. When is Sims 5? I have no idea. The Sims 4, I don't even play it anymore. I feel like if The Sims 5 comes out, I don't even know. I might just try it out and maybe just go back to The Sims 2. Sims 3 came out and Sims 4 came out, and every time I just go back to Sims 2 because I just think it's the most fun. But Paralives, there's a game they're making like a rival for the Sims franchise. There's this indie group. They're making this game called Paralives, and they've posted a few previews of it so far, and it looks great. I'm really excited for that to come out. I think it's free on Origin. That's awesome. I know that for a while the Ultimate Collection was free. Or if you like emailed EA, they would like send you the Ultimate Collection, but I don't think they do that anymore. The Ultimate Collection has all the expansion packs. I like Sims 3 over Sims 4. I agree. For me, I like Sims 2 the best, and then Sims 3, and then Sims 4. And I've never played Sims 1. Maybe sometime I should stream Sims 1. Trying out the Sims 1. I think I'm gonna have to go because I think I'm gonna have to go get ready because it looks like I'm going shopping with my mom pretty soon. Unexpectedly. I also found the Sims 2 on My Abandonware. So you might be able to get it there. I don't know that website though, so I don't know if I should... Is that website legit? Well, there's a website that you might be able to get it on. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll turn all of you into Sims 2 addicts. Kids all good. Have a good shop. Thanks for the stream. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I need to go get ready. Well, it was fun talking about Higurashi, and so chapter 2 of Higurashi we will be discussing on January 2nd at 9 a.m. That's when the next visual novel book club meeting will be. So I'm excited to see everybody then. And have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.